Welcome to a zerok 1 vs 1 between, in the red, it is Stuart98 with an engineer commander, blueprint fencer, versus in the blue, it is HJkia with bots and an engineer commander as well. Not going bulkhead spam, nope, they're just going to be using duck as their blueprint. So, in other words, they haven't chosen their own blueprint. They just have the default, so are unlikely to really use the feature. In this match, we will have a close match, presumably, where we will also have some devastating raids into eco and production. By who? I don't know. Against who? I don't know. It doesn't really matter. But one thing I do know is that the conch is already going for like pretty heavy wind generating, only going after metallic sectors 10. That means Mason's for Stuart will be slightly faster. Dot cleaned up though, and this dot is also cleaned up. In one-shot range for ducks. 130 on those, and it's like 110 for... no, 120 HP on a dart. So I see Stuart already planning ahead. Just because they now know that the enemy is using bots. Also, yes, bots looks like there is water on this map, right? Look, oh yeah, sure, nice little water. Terrain type, hell. Doesn't sound too good. I don't think you want to heal up in that. Don't really think so. Doesn't sound pleasant. And Stuart actually not really all that far ahead in terms of their metal income, just because they've went for a little bit of Lotus building first. Over here, same thing is going to be happening. First radar, then Lotus, and then just moving along. Not going to build any energy with them. Of course, with that extra energy they build up top here, that is also not really going to be needed. Unless you're in like 10% wind or so. Right at the wind floor. Then it might be needed, but for now it is going to be enough to just have the eco in their home base. Little bit of solar with the commander though. And they're actually going to be terraforming up and then building a Stardust. Okay, anti-swarm, anti-raider, right? That does make sense that you want that to protect your base. It's also quite expensive. Oh, and they did actually switch into buoy for the blueprint. But it's also pretty expensive for early game. It's 220 cost. Then you also have the additional cost of like 40 for the little bit of terraform. Not ideal. Right, it doesn't slow you down too much compared to building one Lotus. It does prevent raiding a bit better than a couple of Lotus. On this side, of course, Stuart now going for like 180 investment. So compared to that, it's not too much more expensive. But oh well. Ducks not really able to do all that much yet, but at the same time, these couple of Scorchers not really able to do anything either. Might be able to catch out one duck, but no, it doesn't seem like it. And over here they would have a bit of a difficult time engaging that as well. First Ripper is out on the field, is moving forwards as well. With just 6 ducks, you can't really, not easily at least, surround it and kill it without taking too many losses from the AoE. Of course, bursting down, yeah, no, you are not able to do that. You need 2 shots indeed. Going to try and sneak through there? Can you even do that? No, I was about to say, you can't do that with Rover. Right, okay. Having that limpet with your commander is very nice. Normally, of course, you would die to just 3 little Scorchers. If you don't have any support around. With the addition of a slow bomb, you know, I've never really seen anyone use it, but I would assume it is actually quite effective. Doesn't really seem like they're going to use it. Yeah, there you go, okay. Still though, commander only 1200 HP left or so. So, yeah, not exactly amazing. Going to have a caretaker up. Is also going to be useful for reclaiming all of that. Over 400 reclaim there. But will also be used to repair that commander. Only 1100 HP left, so it can't easily move out. Because if it does, that is going to be, well, it's going to be vulnerable. Also, yeah, the investment with the Stardust, it's probably about as expensive as triple Lotus. So, yeah, it doesn't really matter. At all. Of course it doesn't. It's like curse of the caster. If you mention something like, oh, it's going to be hurting you and it's going to be very significant. No, it's just not. Anyways, Ripper over here is going to try and move forward. Is keeping these ducks contained, which is very nice. They can, of course, run past, which rovers cannot do. But still, aren't able to engage all that much. At least not for now. Over here, another Ripper is going to be annoying. Or at least I would assume so. Right? Boom! There you go, good job. Eco, 38, 36, still pretty even. Are now going to try and surround Ripper. Does indeed take it down. Without taking, like, yeah, one loss. Sure. So, like, pretty much no losses there. I guess you were spread out far enough that the Ripper indeed did not really take advantage of its AoE at all. Both players going for geothermal. The one from Stuart already up. The other one is only now really beginning. Limpet to slow down a little bit over here, but not doing a whole lot. And now Ducks will just be cleaning everything up over here. Another Limpet though going down. That's probably not really what you want. I mean, you didn't really need it. And boom. Yeah, taking one duck down, two ducks down already. Nicely done. Ripper, not exactly making cost yet. But still, it is effective. Two ducks, one limpet moving forwards. Yeah, that's not going to work out. Stuart just has a little bit too much there for you to handle. One fencer through the blueprint, and of course a couple of turrets as well. Buoy versus fencer, it's a bit weird. Just because fencer, of course, it's a homing missile semi-skirm. It's like a support unit, but its use is as a skirm, usually. Versus the unit that is normally not able to hit anything because of its incredibly slow projectile. But also 1250 HP, so it doesn't die to fencer at all. Whereas fencer, because it has to stop the fire, can also not dodge the buoy shots like any other skirm could. Over here, well, Ripper would do a lot of damage, has to focus on one group. That means the other group is going to take down the geothermal. Is going to take down the that means destroy. Oh, HJkia. Oh. It should have gone down easily. There was no reason why you wouldn't take it down, except for that. Well, all my ducks are in the same control group, and I just told my control group to go there. Yeah, oops, well, that hurts. Now this one idle, so also going to be cleaned up. Oh, Stuart got away with it. Was that just devastating raid? I don't know. I don't think so. Didn't seem that devastating, right? I mean, the geothermal survives. The one from HJkia is now being upgraded. Only now really beginning, 12%, so now even close to being done. But of course, if it does go up, you're overdriving an additional like 7 maxes. 8 maxes. With like 100 eco. 100 energy eco from that geothermal. Still though, because you just had the wind drop to 2%. Yeah, you're currently not overdriving at all. You just barely have enough energy to keep up with your metal production. But it's not an ideal time for the wind to drop down like that. Stuart on the other hand, 70 eco. That means an additional 10 metal through overdrive. But now wind is picking back up. Each of these wind generators 1.5. You have weathered the storm. So now your geothermal will be, well, going up quite quickly again. Not sure how much longer it... yeah, that's the thing. Geothermal doesn't have an estimated time of arrival. Doesn't have like a expected build time. It's a bit annoying. It's fine though. Now over here, Pyro and Ripper should be able to clean up those ducks, no issues. Don't want to go into the water. Luckily enough, the AI knows that and it doesn't even try. But that's another duck going down. Scallop normally, of course, not that strong because it is so slow, but hey, if the enemy runs into you, it does a lot of damage. DPS on it is very good. And over here, well, couple of fences, only 700 HP on that commander. Yeah, fencer doesn't have a lot of DPS, but 700 HP is also not a lot. Not on a commander that is pretty damn slow. 370 left. Do you have anything you can send that way? Yes, you do. You can do that, and you are going to. No, don't do that. Oh, unit AI. Unit AI pathing. No. I mean, you're still going to catch up to it, so you should still destroy it. That's not going to be the issue. There it goes. There you go. There it goes. Good. Still though, that was slightly closer than it should have been. Position will also now be lost. All of a sudden then, both of these sections under control by Stuart. This as well, this as well. Whereas HJkia has lost both of these locations. So sure, you've got your geothermal up already. Whereas Stuart is only now upgrading it. Eco for Stuart is just going to be way better. Having like 3/4 of the map controlled is pretty strong. At the same time though, HJkia going for something fun. Scallop drops. I was about to say archer drops, but nope, these are scallops. Both can be very strong. But generally, scallop drops are preferred. Does also have that grizzly up, so is a bit difficult to push for Stuart. But with the number of units they have on the field, I think it would even be possible. Don't think it's out of the question. And especially, well, yeah, they went into jump bots, that it also gives them scuttle. Scuttle 8,000 burst damage, 8,000 damage on one of those. Not all of it goes into your grizzly, because that is of course when you're like inside of it. Generally it doesn't do the full 8,000 damage, but still pretty close to it. Still though, you are only cleaning up the production. That geothermal is up, the advanced geothermal, and it's not being taken care of, unless you now just use your Charons, gather these two back up, and try to ferry them around. The issue is that there's just a couple too many units still left. You're going to try still though, and well, nope, you're not going to try. Well, you did try, but the Charons just didn't succeed. There you go, good job. Are you going to take it back home, or are you going to place it here, there? Don't really know. Still though, Stuart, with that commander forwards, has got Jump Bot Factory back up. Grizzly seems to have disappeared, as if it was a magic trick. I think the magic trick was called Scuttle. And now it is time to puppy. There is a lot of reclaim there, isn't it? Isn't there? Yeah, 1,300 reclaim there, 2,000 there. There certainly is a lot of grey goo they can be getting. Over here, a couple more archers and all that moving forwards. The archer dock cleaning up the defenses, but at the same time, yeah, locust coming in. That's your locust actually. Never mind. A couple of ravagers seemed to come in, but are not in fact doing that. And there you go. You now go into the geothermal, and that means it is a dead geothermal. No defenses around the geothermal itself. Couple of rovers you have are not going to deal with it either, and that is GG? Question mark? I mean, it could very easily be. Because, there goes the geothermal. Indeed it does. Meanwhile, Stuart still has, well, pretty good eco, all things considered, right? I mean, sure, HJkia is reclaiming a whole lot. This is still under control all by Stuart. You've got a little bit of a raid going with those locusts. You've cleaned up the entire base. But you're still missing 4-5 maxes. So even though you have overdrive, it's not giving you the eco you would like. 23 of your eco is through reclaim. Stuart should also be reclaiming a whole lot. Puppies, I believe, are actually not too bad against Locust. They are able to reach. Still not amazing, of course, because you are picked off quite easily, having only 80 HP. But that's still like 2 seconds of DPS for the Locust. And yeah, 2 Locust, 1 Locust that is, and it is soon to be 0 Locust unless it retreats just in time. It does indeed. Right. Puppies, meanwhile, on the field, a total of 20. This one really should be reclaiming, but I guess it is just, yeah, not in the prime position. But yeah, puppies, a lot of damage. This is mostly Bowie and Duck. Ducks do 1 shot, but at the same time, puppies are so cheap. And they do 1 shot, right? Or is it just barely not? Yeah, no, they do indeed 1 shot. So puppies, very, very scary. 40 puppies almost. And they will be getting up even more. It's 39 now. Forces here, not bad either. One conch down, don't think it was armored up. Maybe it was, that one definitely wasn't. So yeah, eco here, not being constructed by HJkia. Stuart still has a couple of lotus around, so even just one archer, one duck, not going to be raiding all that easily. And over here, well, pyros doing damage. Of course, the what you call it? Not afterburn, burn. The burning from fire, flamethrower. No, that is actually afterburn. Never mind. Doesn't care about your slowdown. Only the weapon itself does. So that additional 15 damage per second is not affected by, well, the buoys or the limpet at all. Still, commander, bit of a scary position for you too. Out of position, no defenses around you. At the same time though, puppies could also just clean that up, I think. 40, no, that's not 40 puppies. It's 35 puppies versus 15 ducks. I think they can actually take them. Though it's more a question of if that's needed. Over here, geothermal. That seems like it is in a bit of a vulnerable spot as well. Pyro jumping in already. Does have good DPS of course, but will be cleaned up by the Scallop. At least I would assume so. Maybe not, maybe it doesn't. No, yeah it does. Still, ducks sitting in the fire, not ideal. Heavily damaged, the geothermal. In the fire, 15-second afterburn and all that. Not going to go down. But, puppies, they could move in after, and there they come. Oh, but they don't get it. Nope. Now though, 4 puppies moving in. Not moving in. Moderators will do it for you. Probably a bit of a waste, because you lost the 4 puppies anyways. But yeah. We had like devastating raids by HJkia, for sure. But look, they're all in the base, no army, nothing. And they do not have the advantage Stuart had. Stuart, even when their base went down, had a lot of additional bases, a lot of external eco that they could rely upon in order to get their eco and production back online. This, however, could have swung the game had it not been a couple of seconds too late. 15 more seconds is the estimated time of arrival, but it's not going to arrive at all. Even though Stuart had all that extra map control, HJkia still with the better eco pretty much the entire game. But Stuart was able to bounce back from all of the raiding a lot better than HJkia ever was.